Hi everyone. Thanks for tuning in. So my name is Ashraful Alam and I'm a student of Yorkville University. So today I want to talk about a really important issue, which is gender inequality. So inequality isn't just something that happens in today's cases. It's a global problem that touches every aspect of society, from education to work to family life and also our cultural norms. So what makes this fascinating to study is how the sociological imagination helps us connect the big global forces to the small everyday experience of people like you and me. So before we begin, I just want to share my agenda today. So this is what I will be talking about in briefly and explaining about it and why gender inequality is still an issue even today. So let's begin. So what is gender inequality? So, gender inequality means where unequal opportunities, treatment, or expectations are based on a gender. Even though we have made progress, but it still shows up in a measurable ways. So, for example, the gender pay gap continues to be challenged across countries, with women on average earning less than men for similar work. And it's not just about the pay, it's also about how workplaces, educational institutions, and even families are structured to this reinforce these differences. Now let's talk about the workplace inequality. So one key area in the workplace is a recent APA study found that a gender inequality at work doesn't just affect salaries, but it also affects mental health, job satisfaction, and family dynamics too. So when a woman is facing discrimination or barriers to advancement, it trickles down into stress, relationship strains, and even how kids perceive gender roles. So this is a good example of how macro system like in the economy connects to our micro experiences in the family. So in the next slide, as you can see the pay gap in US, which I found in one of the sources, as you can see like the weekly, bi-weekly and monthly wise. And if you see annually, so it's so there is a huge gap between a man's salary and a woman's salary, which is a $13,104 of a difference, which is a huge. So that shows that why there is such an indifferences and among the two genders over here, even in the workforce or any field that you can talk about. So now let's focus on the educational system. So another angle is education. So despite more women entering, universities globally, stereotypes about what men and women are supposed to do to study still persist even today. So research shows women remain underrepresented in STEM fields like science, technology, or engineering or mathematical fields, while men are less encouraged to pursue caregiving careers. So these divisions aren't just a personal choices, but they're also shaped by cultural norms. And I've also shared a chart over here if you can see. So that shows that how much of a disparity is there between the two genders. Now let's talk about the global perspective. When we zoom out, so we can also see a gender inequality as a global human rights issue. So articles have published. There are several articles have been published in the Society and the Family Journal highlights how inequality affects political participation and access to healthcare and even safety in public spaces. There's also a gender-based violences. For example, is one of the most visible consequences of unequal power structure. As you can see, I'm sharing a slide over. I'm sharing a picture over here, which is a demographic of the whole world. So as you can see, there's a three dimensions over here from three different colors regarding reproductive health, empowerment, and economic status. And these are the scores, and as you can see there's a scores between 0 to 1. So 0 indicates it's low and 1 indicates high. So those countries which are in a dark color, they indicate higher inequalities regarding every aspect, whether it's a political wise or economical wise or even education as well. Now now I'll be sharing the system of power regarding this. So I just want to mention. So I've been previously, talking about the culture part. I've been mentioning culture previously. So now let's talk about anyway. So gender inequality doesn't look the same everywhere. So in some countries, women are still fighting for the basic rights, like let's say education or willing or right to vote as well in some places. While in developed countries, they are just struggling to break the glass ceiling. I mean, I've provided a chart over here, as you can see. As you can see the differences between the developing countries and developed countries regarding the education, work, politics, and health and safety as well. So these important points over here is that while the context differs, the root issue is still the same. So system of power that values gender over another one. Now, to wrap it up, so gender inequality is not just about the woman's issue; it's a societal issue. So, using sociological imagination allows us to see how global system of economics, education, and cultural shapes everyday life, and how our personal struggles connect to broader structures. So, if we want a real progress, we need both policy level change and a shift in cultural attitudes. Only then we can move forward from true equity for everyone. So that's all I have to share, and these are the references that I took just to make my presentation. So thank you for listening, and have a good day.